Hello, my name is Alexander Morari, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned in to the ITKeyMedia podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. And our guest today is Aidas Kavaliauskas, the co-founder of Amberlo, a company that has developed a cloud-based law practice management software. Labas Aidas, kaip laikaisi.
Hi, Alex. It's very nice to meet you, and I'm fine, and I'm really looking forward for this podcast.
Aidas, as a quick warm-up for the conversation ahead, I wanted to get your opinion about the legal industry as such, being very conservative and traditional and not as open to disruption, or maybe not as capable to welcome disruption as other industries. Would you agree with that, and why?
Well, there is no black and white, and I do agree that lawyers they are not as technologically savvy as maybe some other industries, and they try to keep a safe distance from disruptive technologies. But also things are changing, and there are more and more modern solutions in the legal space, and companies like Amberlo, they of course they're helping lawyers to adopt modern technologies by providing tools that allow to better manage your team, to have better visibility about your clients, your projects, and your activities. So it's not that we make a revolution, but we are of course we are for sure part of the evolution.
Evolution, yes. Aidas, let's try and stay on the same level of abstraction, okay? And we both agree that yes, legal industry is not that prone or welcoming readily the disruption and technological kind of advancement. What do you think are the most obvious reasons for that? One of the reasons I could share, like off the top of my mind, is that probably law firms and legal professionals are facing weaker requirements for cost cutting incentives than in other industries. Would you agree with that?
There is certain pressure on pricing in legal industry as well, maybe not as high as in other industries, but this pressure is increasing. What we see as the main reason, but this might be also a subjective opinion based on our observations, but we see that historical lawyers had little to do with technology, starting with the law schools, which barely had any tech programs included, and so there was no natural habit developed, let's say, starting with the school, and because there was always focus on the legal but not on the tech, and but also this has dramatically changed over last couple of years. Like just to give you an example, there was a research done I think 4 or 5 years ago, which discovered only one legal tech program among law schools in Europe. If you would look today, you would see that nearly every law school has introduced some sort of legal tech program. So also here the situation is improving. But to develop a habit, you need you need to get used to something, because if you are not using some tools and you are not using some ways to achieve something, then you do not have a need for that. And so I think with the education is one way to change it. On the other hand, also I think tech providers, they need to contribute to the education and not only focus on tech and sales. And for example, in Amberlo, we put a lot of efforts in educating legal community. And this is very
education
important.
on the tech side, right? Not on the legal side, but on advantages of using technology.
Well, actually, first you need to talk about how things are organized currently. What are the weak points? What we could improve, and how technology could help to improve those places, and then introduce technology. If you do it vice versa, then let's say, well, I'm used to drive a bicycle, and somebody comes and says, well, yeah, we can sell you an e-bike, and why would I need one? What's my problem? I'm riding a bike. It takes like 2 hours every day, let's say, to go from one side of the city to another. But this is the way I organize my time, so I don't have a problem. But if somebody would show that, all right, you are spending like 2 hours, and you could do it in 1 hour, so then you could spend 1 hour for something else. And when you start discussion and you identify some pain points, and then you can start talking about solutions, and then things start making sense.
Okay, so that's where the educational part. Okay, so somebody riding a bicycle has to be educated that a Formula One, I understand, and Amberlo is such a symbol of Formula One, will get you quicker to the and further. Okay, Aidas, this is a good moment right now. Yes, please.
Just maybe one comment. Yes, Formula One can get you, from point A to point B, 10 times faster than a good bike. But the question is, what will you do then? Let's say, okay, I have to drive like 100 kilometers distance, and I made it 30 times faster. Will I sit and wait till the time passes so that I could take another step, or I will organize things differently? I think this is important, and so there is a lot of education and a lot of consultancy needed in connection with technology to change things.
In this specific case, then you have some very valuable resource that you can reallocate time, basically, right, of your people, of your team, and so on.
Yeah.
Aidas, with that, let's jump back, let's say, into the scenario for the podcast, and we will cover the solution in round one, the solution itself. Aidas, how would you like Amberlo product or solution to be described in Wikipedia in a year or two, let's say, from now?
Well, it's a cloud-based law firm management software that's quick to start, easy to use, and delivers value from day one. And by covering the process from client intake till the payment collection, and by automating many tedious manual tasks, and so this would be probably my description.
Okay, and if you take away the word legal or lawyer from your description, isn't that a description of a CRM system?
Well, we do have CRM as a part of our platform, but while CRM systems, they are focusing very much on sales. We could compare Amberlo, I think, more to the project management software, but it's not only project management software, because we combine several different software in one piece. It would be CRM, it would be project management, it would be time and expense tracking, billing, and document management. So these are all essential parts that are used in the daily workflow of a modern law firm.
So another advantage is to use Amberlo as a complete A to Z kind of software to manage whole operation of a law firm, right?
Yeah, when it comes to managing your clients, managing your team members, your projects, tracking time, expenses, issuing invoices, tracking payments, working with documents, and especially those more modern law firms who are already maybe using or thinking about switching to Microsoft 365, so you can seamlessly integrate Amberlo with Microsoft 365. It all works out of the box, so you do not have like complex projects which are expensive and time consuming. Just few clicks and everything works. And just to give you an example, we were recently onboarding 23 lawyer firm. So we got the data on Tuesday. We did the imports on Thursday. On Friday, we had 1 hour trainings. On Monday, timekeepers were adding timesheets. And we were supposed to have a training for the CFO. And he didn't have time, but he spent like few hours late in the evening, and on Thursday they were issuing invoices, and we were a bit surprised and asked what about this missed training, and he said, no problem, I just figured out everything myself. And so this is how it works.
Aidas, and to prove you this point that this is almost self-explanatory, and it's always like a self-driving car, you could say, following the symbols we used in the very beginning. Let's have a look at the program itself, at the platform itself, and maybe you will give some comments on the go as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So Aidas, let's, as you say, jump in here and show us how it works. Okay.
Yeah, sure. It's a web-based application, and user starts with the dashboard. On the left side, he sees his key performance indicators, the planning board in the center, and what was happening during the daytime. And it takes like 2 minutes to go from new client to the final payment. And it's all very easy to do. So you need just to learn few very basic concepts, and then everything works out of the box. So for example, if you want to create a new matter or a legal project, you just go to matters, click on plus, enter the name. The matter ID is automatically generated based on your rules. Then you add client, you can add additional information, you can create custom fields if you need some additional data, and all can be done by the users. So there is no need for us to be involved. So you create your matter, you save it, and then we get so-called 360-degree view on the legal project. So you can add team members, you can add different parties, different additional information, you can do planning, you can adjust rates, and we have quite a lot of sophistication when it comes to client pricing. And currently we also have budget management, so you can set the service limits, and the system tracks them for you. We also have task management and planning integrated in the system. You can also connect your Microsoft or Google Calendar, and then everything will be synchronized across your different devices, and you can do planning on Amberlo or on any on your devices. Everything works in two directions. And here we see the time logging feature. So it's very easy to create timesheets, and users can do it at any time from any place. We have also automated time tracker, which starts counting, and also you can start on one device and finish on another device, which works across devices. Also, all the rates are selected automatically. Also, we distinguish between working and billable hours. You can also track expenses, like if you spend time on traveling, on notaries, on say copying documents, anything else. So all that can be stored, and then you can create invoices with few clicks. Also, all the settings for the client are selected automatically, so you do not need to think every time when you create your invoice. You can then add timesheets, you can add expenses, you can also have some automatically added items, like, for example, service fee based, which is like X percentage on the timesheets, and you create your invoice. We also support multilingual and and bilingual invoices, so we can have 2 languages on the invoice, and if that is needed. And as the software is currently used in more than 25 jurisdictions, so we are pretty well localized. Also, we have document management, so you can store documents at your clients and at your matters. And if you connect your SharePoint account, then you can also use all the features that are provided by Microsoft 365, and you can collaborate on documents, you can share them, and you have version tracking and so on. Amberlo also incorporates email management, and it essentially works as additional email client. So also users do not need to change their habits. They can continue using Outlook if they wish, and it works out of the box. And also we have quite sophisticated analytics, and users can also generate their own analytical views in whatever way they need, and they can slice and dice data using any criterions available in the system. So this is I think quick overview about Amberlo and what it does and how it looks.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Aidas, yes, that was a quick but very informative overlook, and thanks for the guidance. What about the business as such? You said you are now in 20+ jurisdictions, and how many clients you have? I mean, paying clients, as you are selling by the seats, basically, how many seats are currently converted on to paying customers?
Yeah, so we currently have over 700 paying users, and we have as we have also a free plan for solo lawyers. So in total, we have over 2,000 registered users, and also after some time, free users, they are converting to paid users because they start understanding that no, it makes sense having more features and more automation and connecting. Even if he's a solo lawyer, it is still a huge improvement to use Microsoft 365 and have SharePoint on OneDrive, and skipping completely the need to send documents around by email and manage versions manual and so on. So we are converting free users as well, and we are growing 10-15% monthly. So our user base is increasing roughly currently at around 100 users, paying users per month.
What about the churn rate? Do you
this is
as well?
Yes, this is a good question, and this is actually what makes us, I think, quite unique in this SaaS business, because our monthly churn is around 0.5%, and typically we see between 2.5 to 5% as an industry average. So we have extremely low churn, and there are several reasons why the churn is very low. One reason for that is that the software delivers on promise. We do not have some hidden costs, so we have very transparent pricing. We have very good support, and which is very responsive, so we typically respond within 1 hour. And the software is very easy to use, and it provides improvements. We help to generate up to 40 billable hours per lawyer, and this is an enormous value. And beside that, we are also developing the software very fast. So we are releasing new features and improvements every 3 weeks. So this is a very sporty schedule, and also we see that our competitors are currently at much slower speed, and so you get software that does the job. You get answers to your questions fast, and you get things that you need released, let's say, within understandable time frame. And I think this is what keeps what makes lawyers happy. And also we spent a lot of time polishing the software before we even start selling it, because with pilot clients we start working at the beginning of 2017. And we made first official release in middle of 2017. But then we spent 2 years on working with our pilot clients very closely. And I was also watching over the shoulder how they work and what works for them, what doesn't work. And we were improving the user experience. We were polishing user interface. And our aim was to build something that would work for the lawyers. Also keeping in mind that maybe they have a slightly bigger distance from technologies compared to other industries like the tech.
Yeah, and your current MRR, you mentioned somewhere, is around 15,000 euros, I understand, right?
Well, currently it's more than that, because I think this is the number from last month. So now we are we have over 16,000, and we actually focusing on sales quite a lot, and we do not abandon product development, but we never had problems with technologies because we start developing cloud solutions I think 6 years ahead of the term itself. So I was architect of worldwide's first cloud-based core banking system, which was used for servicing more than 20 financial portfolios around Europe. And so we spent years and lots of overtime, let's say, developing large-scale systems. So we know how to build software that works, but like a couple of years ago, we were, not as good, not nearly as good with sales, and we were improving on that part a lot. So this now starts bringing results, and we are growing and we are accelerating the growth.
Yes, okay, and I understand it's pretty sticky with clients, and when they understand and work for a month or so, they stay, and so far your churn rate is pretty low, indeed. Aidas, let's move on to round two, competitors. So you basically mentioned already lots of competitive edges, so to say. Who would you say, by mentioning or describing, who would you say are your closest competitors, and what's the plan to beat them, basically?
Well, in Europe, we have Kleos from Wolters Kluwer, and Wolters Kluwer is a great company, is a big player, but their core business is not in the law practice management, in selling law practice management software. So they have big consultancy, they have very big data business, and of course, by being big and by having the legal data, they are a very strong player. And our response is to come with a very easy and very efficient solution that works for lawyers. So, and as we do not need to do, let's say, all the other parts that they need to do, so we can be much more focused, and we can deliver a more efficient product that does, let's say, that has a focused role, but it does it well. So we have actually, if we look into different markets, then in each market we will find like 20-30 similar products, similar in terms of, let's say, what they're supposed to do and what they do, but very different conceptually. And I think we have one clear advantage, that Amberlo came pretty late, which means that we are on the latest technology stack, which allows us to provide much better user experience at let's say, at less costs. because modern technologies they're made for that, let's say, and by having modern architecture, which is entirely built on microservices, we can move with, we can develop with unprecedented speed. And this is and our know-how and the technologies used, and the fact that we came late, we do not have this like 20 years legacy. This is another reason why clients are choosing us, because it's nicer, it's easier to use, it's more understandable, it looks like something that you have already seen or used. And then if we discuss features, so some features might be just around the corner. Sometimes we have situations when we have a talk with a lawyer and he says, all right, I need this pricing option, and this pricing option is already in our roadmap, and then actually maybe it's not 100% exactly what the lawyer requested, but for us it's relatively easy also to adjust the feature that is already planned, and then a couple of weeks later they get it, and it works and it does the job.
So to make a sum up, it's okay if you find a niche, wait until your competitors dive into this, then get critical information from the market, from your clients, do a couple of pilots, and then jump into the latest technology. And sometimes being late gives you an additional advantage, just because the later you come, the more future-proof is your technology and your interaction with the clients. Interesting.
Yes, it's not fear. It's not fear, actually, because I mean, if you are like 20 years in business, then you should have but okay, I mean, if you are 20 years in business, then you know, everyone knows that you are around like for 20 years, and that you are less risky, let's say, to start with. But at the end of the day, as we are talking about SaaS business, this is very quick business. It's easy to start. It's let's say it's virtually zero investments, and it's also easy to switch to another provider. So therefore, I think this you know, this advantage by being 20 years on the market is not as important if you can, you know, make a switch within a week or something like that.
Aidas, let's move on to round 3, and we recently introduced this, and basically this is a round of quick Q&A. Okay, what are your key productivity hacks that you would love to share? Yeah,
as a co-founder, well, I keep my my calendar busy, and I usually, you know, it's always good to come 2 hours earlier to the office and to leave 2 hours later. So then you have additional 4 hours per day.
It's like you have a choice now. It's like you have a choice now.
Well, as a founder, I have a choice, so I can decide, you know, and if no, it's like a joke, but let's say, and I think you need to plan, and you need to stick to the plan. You need to prioritize and do, you know, do what's most important. I usually I try to resolve any outstanding tasks that are quick to solve, like immediately. I do not, you know, postpone them, because this is something that you know, easily get rid of, and if you postpone, then they start you know, collecting at the end of the week or at the end of the month, and this is not good. And also we are investing in latest tools and technologies. We try to automate everything. This helps a lot, and again, if you invest in something, you need to understand what value it will provide, because you know, there is a saying that a fool with the tool is still a fool. So there are many tools, but not every tool in each situation will be efficient. So it is very important to understand the value that you will get from one or another tool.
Aidas, yes, great. And look, if you were to evaluate the biggest challenge to the growth of your company today, what this would be, and how do you plan to resolve it?
The biggest challenge is sales, and let's say lawyers are very busy. They tend to postpone the decision, And our biggest challenge is actually how to show that if you make a decision now, then you will get the value tomorrow. And it doesn't make any sense to delay for another 2 months, because it's very easy, to calculate the costs of this delay. But we need to improve with our argumentation, obviously, because we are still fighting a lot with postponed decisions.
I see. Have you tried now? I mean, use now, pay later kind of approach?
Well, we tried. We try and still try different approaches. And even if we meet with very skeptical lawyers, we say this software will definitely be of no use to us. So we say, okay, let's make a deal. If you will follow our recommendations, and it will not work in 3 months for you, then we will provide a full money back warranty. And we are very confident about what we do, and we never had to pay the money back.
Yes.
But even this argument doesn't always work.
That's the best recommendation. We've done 30 deals, money back guarantee, and never needed to actually execute it. Okay. Aidas, thanks. Let's move on to next round, round 4. Round 4 is about the company, very general detail about the company. So I understand it was founded in 2017, right? And as far as the team, there's yourself, Aidas Kavaliauskas, Donata Zautra, the co-founder, and also a co-founder and CMO, Erika Kavaliauskine.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's correct.
Is there anything interesting about the founding team? Had you worked before as a team somehow?
Yeah, so so we have today more co-founders, and we used to work since the early 2000, and we spent quite many years doing projects and working for on different international projects mainly. So we know each other for like ages.
Which of course helps a lot. You've had your ups and downs, I understand, and business kind of successes, and so shortcuts and communications help definitely. What about the rest of the team? How many people you are, and what's the division of labor more or less in the team?
Yeah, so currently we have 19 employees, and they are spread over 3 countries: Lithuania, Poland, and Spain. And roughly half of the team is engineering, half of the team is sales and marketing.
Okay, and out of all the markets, why Spain? And Spain is more sales or more engineering kind of hub for you?
Well, because our head of sales one day decided to move to Spain and from Dublin. So now we have technically 1 team member in Spain, and also we see rising demand from Spanish market and from LATAM. So actually Spain is one of our next directions to follow. So it was, he landed, our head of sales landed there by accident, but it was a pretty good accident for us and for him as well.
Okay. So you know how to convert this accident into benefits.
Yes.
Okay. What about your recruitment efforts and team building efforts for this year, 2021? Are you recruiting now, and what are the key areas?
Yeah, we are recruiting now. We are looking for a few engineers. We are looking for to extend sales team, and in Spain, and probably in France as well, and also client success team.
Okay.
Because client support is a top priority for us, and so we want to keep efficient service also while we scale.
Okay, and what's your org chart says about the team size in, let's say, 6 months from now? So you are 20 more or less, and what would be the ideal size?
So in 6 months from now, we will be like 25, and in fact, we do not need to scale the team like endlessly at the moment. At the moment, what we are working on, what we are focusing on, is scalable sales model, and this is what we need to achieve, and this will allow us to prepare for Series A. And after Series A, we have done quite ambitious plan in terms of the team size and in terms of new markets. But before that, we are thinking about stepping into one or two large markets, and we are operating globally as well. So we have clients from all the countries, but we do not have dedicated teams in each country where we have clients.
Yeah, Aidas, thanks for bridging this round into the next and final, which is round 5, and we call this formula F3, funding for the future. But before future, let's see what's been done by now. And I understand the funding by now has been more or less 1.5 million euros, right? From, yeah.
Yeah, it is actually, it's around 1.5 million euro, plus we have 1 million euro non-dilutive grant, which puts us at 2.5 million euro, and this provides enough runway till Series A. We might do a bridge round early next year, depending on the results, on the sales results, which we will see this year. But if we will not do the bridge round, then we will be looking directly for Series A.
Yeah, okay. And as far as the investors by now, let's just mention them. Iron Wolf Capital, I understand, Corvus Ventures, 70 Ventures, Next Road Ventures. Have I missed anybody?
Yeah, we have also some angels, some angel investors, which joined together with Next Road Ventures, and also I'm very happy to have them on board, because they are not just passive investors, but they also help us a lot, especially with our international expansion, and also helping to organize sales and expanding the network.
Yeah, so you mentioned the next step would be either Series A directly, depending on the results, or a bridge, and then you would step over this bridge to Series A. I understand as well. Okay.
Right.
Aidas, we started at the more general level. Let's try and finish at the more general level as well. Do you have an exit plan in your mind now? I mean, you personally.
Well, I'm an engineer, and I'm so my parents were engineers, and my kids are engineers as well, and so I do not have a clear plan myself, let's say, regarding the exit. We have 4 venture capital funds on board, and if you would ask our investors, then they would tell you a different story, because they have a very clear exit strategy, and what we will do, we will follow this exit strategy, and I believe that within 4 to 8 years we will have either sales or some bigger rounds, and or so we will see how it works. I think the most important thing at the moment is to keep the service quality, to accelerate sales, and to come to the numbers that we would be ready for Series A, and after that we will see. And in terms of technology, our ultimate aim is to create an environment for more efficient justice by connecting different players in the legal space. like lawyers, clients, um, courts, and the information. And also, beside working on product, we are running pretty large R&D project where we have very good results in legal information analysis using natural language processing and machine learning. And we also planning to come up with tools for people which or let's say small and medium enterprises, which will allow them to quickly check the contract conditions. Will raise red flags, will offer, will recommend lawyers who could provide quick and efficient advice, and at the same time we can provide lawyers with efficient e-discovery tools, which would again be like a seamless part of the decision support system implemented directly in Amberlo. So no need to purchase something in addition, and it would work along the lawyer. So, like for example, if you are adding information, you get recommendations, you get highlights, you get red flags, you can do KYC, you can get your evidence, like look at the data, adjust a little bit the angle, look at the data again. And this is well, sometimes especially when we have a discussion with younger lawyers, which are maybe associates today, then they say, well, according to what you explain, you will eradicate us. But I said, well, but that's not the aim. The aim is, to save maybe 4 hours on browsing through the court video, and instead of that, just get the facts, right just in time, and then start working on the next steps. Start working on the insights. So our aim is to provide small and medium-sized law firms, small and medium enterprises with the adequate tools that they could play on the same level with larger players. Because you can imagine what happens today if, for example, a global enterprise hits a small enterprise. I mean, a small enterprise has no chances because it cannot afford even a fraction. So I do not want to say that we will, tip the scales or something like this, but I think at least even providing more chances for small players, it would make I think it would add more balance.
Aidas, this monologue is basically, you could say, an ultimatum to the whole industry, which is too conservative right now, and within 3-5 years, if your message comes or gets through to the legal industry globally, then definitely the justice process will be more optimized and will be, should we say, delivered quicker and in a more like safer and more reliable manner. And I wish you all the best on this interesting, ambitious and challenging road, of course, and we'll be following your successes on the go.
Yeah, thanks for your comments, and I hope we can make another review in 12 or 18 months from now, and then we will be able to discuss the ideas that were discussed today, as and compare to the results achieved after 12 to 18 months runway.
Thanks for reading my mind and speaking up my mind as well. All the best.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.